The gray water is like your kitchen sink, your shower, stuff soapy. Your black water, well, that's all the other stuff that waste that you produce as people. Wendy is kind of special. I have put this off as long as possible. It is, gosh, 5:30 in the evening now, and it is my day off, and it is rainy and gray outside and everything is wet. Our black tanks are full, and the black tanks wait for no man. And while this is not a glamorous thing, I do actually get some questions. This is the park that we're at right now, and I just wanted to point out a couple things. Most of these big rigs around here, you'll see like this Fiverr here, and there's a couple other travel trailers, have one black hose coming out of their rig that they leave hooked up. There's another one, they may be hard to see. Even though it's not very common for travel trailers to have multiple tanks, because Wendy is so big and is so long and our family lives in them, we decided we wanted those 2 bathrooms, which have made a huge difference, and we do love it. But that does mean 5 tanks, you guys. She has the fresh water, she has 2 grays and 2 blacks, and it can be a little bit of a process to empty those tanks out. But in terms of equipment, let's talk about this. So there's 2 spouts here that come out. This is the front 2 tanks, and in the back, what we like to talk about or call the kids' bathroom is this one here coming down that pipe there. So these are the 2 hoses that we have, and they're wired into this adapter that I bought on Amazon. We'll have the link in the description, and that just goes into our main line there. This is one of the little adapters that we bought when we first started doing this. I've heard lots of tips about this. This is like a 3-inch just straight adapter. The reason we have this, and it's nice and clear, you can see through it, is because when you're cleaning your tanks out, you want to make sure that when the time comes to really get them clean and flushed out, they are really clear and clean. And the only way to do that is to literally watch it come out. I do have a dedicated black hose for the black water tank, whereas the blue and whites here are for the drinking water. The white line is actually our neighbors. When working with anything black hose, even gray hose related, make sure that you've got some gloves. I've seen people do it without gloves. The nurse and me, that's nasty, people. Even if you are one of those exceptional ones that has done it a million times and you can do it without getting stuff on your hands, I guarantee you, there's still bacteria and stuff from that you don't see that's still getting on your hands. So that's it, nurse rant is over. This is where I usually keep all of our stuff here that this is generally in. This is my utility room. Okay, one of the annoying things about flushing this system is that with the 2 hoses, I always have to come in here and disconnect. So it's one hose whenever I'm flushing the tanks. The reason for that, if you think about it, is fairly simple. I can't have one flushing down and going back into another one. It would just be a mess. One would never get clean. Before unhooking here, you want to make sure all the valves are totally closed and everything, because you don't want to be surprised and have something just, hey, coming down at you, literally. At the end of it. And now we are ready to pull tank number one. Well, since we're doing a little flush today too, it's also time to start that flush that I hooked up earlier. So this is black, this is gray. Why they didn't make a black and a gray handle, I don't know. The other tank does have it, so that makes it easier. But all right, so set this down and away we go. Black tank first. I have flushed the first round of the tank. When I am doing this, if we're going to be gone or traveling somewhere, I like to actually rinse the tanks pretty thoroughly. with that black hose going into the front. I will let it fill, and then I'll pull that black valve again to flush it once more. Occasionally, I will do this 2 or 3 times. Read this little label down here below the tank. Basically, it says, make sure that the flush valve, the black valve, is open while this is filling. Well, I'm totally not doing that. The reason I'm not doing that is because I want that to fill and knock off anything that may be hanging around in there. It's gross to think about, but like toilet paper and other stuff may be stuck to the sides of the tank, and I want that to fill up so that when it flushes again, the pressure in that wash, just like a toilet, flushes it all back down. There's a reason that warning label is there. If you get your attention divided somewhere else and you forget to make sure that that flushes when it's full, you're gonna have a storm on your hands. Come over here and I look at black 1 and I see, okay, we're 2/3 full, so I really need to keep it on, and I'll just let it go to that and then we'll flush it. Again, come in and check your tanks. All right, so we're not quite running as clear as I normally would have it again for a flush if we were gonna be going or traveling somewhere. But for right now, since we're immediately gonna start using them again, this thing does not need to be running completely clear. Plus, I wanna conserve the park's water a little bit. So it's time to turn off the flush and then let that tank drain until it stops. Looks like it's done draining. I don't see much water, just maybe a tiny little trickle coming out. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna close the black valve and I'm gonna open this gray one. And the reason I'm doing the gray last is because this tank up front is our water from like our shower and that kind of stuff. Kristin and I both took like long lady showers today, so we've got plenty of suds and stuff in here. And this is really just to clean out this hose as best as we can right now. Both valves in the front are closed now, and I'm gonna empty this sewer line. Now, I've got the first tanks empty. So what I need to do is I need to switch to the other tank. This is that tediousness of having 2 tanks. If we only had one, like most of the rigs around us, most of these travel trailers, I'd be done. It'd be great. But nope. Wendy has the convenience of giving us 2 bathrooms, which means 2 tanks. So now I gotta switch the lines. Black, black, gray, gray. Yeah, there's something probably on the sensor, but pretty much all empty. Anyway, thanks for coming along with this, guys. It's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it. I wanted to take just a few more minutes now that we're pretty much done and talk about a couple extra little tips and things that are going to be important. In terms of the gray tanks, if you're going to be stationary for a while, it is totally fine to have both those gray tank valves open. Just let the water drain out. You cannot leave the black tanks open. It will dry and it will not flush out later. It will cause a horrible stink and clogs, and you will have a mess on your hands. Toilet paper, it's kind of a necessity. It doesn't have to be RV toilet paper. No, 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 no. You're fine to use regular toilet paper as long as it says it is septic safe. Thank you so much for kind of coming along with me while I took care of the business. And if you like this kind of stuff and you like learning more about RV stuff, I would love to make more videos about this kind of stuff for you. If you're brand new here and you've never seen any of our videos before, thank you for watching it. Please hit the subscribe button, join us, and thank you again for being here.